If you walk into a dealership today and buy a brand new 2025 Toyota Tacoma, you are being scammed. I am not saying that to be mean. I am saying it because it is mathematically true. You are paying $50,000 for a 4-cylinder engine that sounds like a vacuum cleaner, a cabin full of cheap hard plastics, and a complex turbo system that is already showing signs of early failure. The manufacturers have broken the social contract. They used to sell us tools, now they sell us toys. Meanwhile, the smart money, the mechanics, the engineers, and the millionaires next door are ignoring the new trucks completely. They are buying this truck. It has a naturally aspirated V6. It has a real steel frame. It will run for 300,000 miles. And the best part? It costs $10,000. Today, I am going to prove to you mechanically why the new trucks are garbage and reveal the 7 cheat code trucks you should buy instead to save $40,000. To understand why the old trucks are superior, we have to look at the engineering crime scene of the new Toyota Tacoma. Toyota killed the legendary V6 engine. In its place, they put a stressed-out 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. To make the same power as the old V6, this tiny engine has to run at incredibly high boost pressures. Physics dictates that high boost creates high cylinder pressure and massive heat. Heat is the enemy of longevity. On top of that, the 8-speed transmission is constantly hunting for gears because the engine has zero torque until the turbo spools up. You aren't driving a truck anymore. You are driving a computer simulation of a truck. And don't even get me started on the hybrid max system, which adds high-voltage batteries and electric motors to an off-road vehicle. When that system fails in 10 years, the repair bill will total the truck. You are paying luxury car prices to be a beta tester for technology that nobody asked for. This brings us to the first solution, the ultimate Tacoma killer, the Nissan Frontier. Specifically, the D40 generation, made from 2012 to 2019. While Toyota was updating the Tacoma every few years and raising the price, Nissan built this exact same truck for 15 years straight. Why? Because they got it right the first time. It uses the 4.0-liter VQ40 V6. This is a massive, under-stressed engine. It has an iron cylinder block lining, it has no turbo, it has no direct injection carbon buildup issues, it just makes torque. Mechanically, it sits on the F-Alpha platform. This is a fully boxed, high-tensile steel frame. The Tacoma from this era uses a C-channel frame in the rear, which is open on one side. This makes the Tacoma frame weaker and more prone to rust and twisting under load. The Nissan frame is stronger, period. If you get the Pro 4X model, you get factory skid plates, Beilstein off-road shocks, and a locking rear differential. You get 95% of the capability of a Tacoma TRD Pro for 25% of the price. You can find these with 100,000 miles for $9,000 to $11,000. It is objectively the best value in the mid-size truck market. Next up, we have the legend that refuses to die, the Ford Ranger. I am talking about the old school models made between 1998 and 2011. Do not confuse this with the new massive Ranger. The old Ranger was the last true compact truck. It is small, it is light, and it is unkillable. The engine you want is the 4.0-liter Cologne V6. This engine design dates back to the 1960s. It is agricultural. It leaks a little oil, it sounds like a tractor, but it will run even if you shoot it. The parts for this truck are so cheap, it feels like stealing. You can replace an alternator for $80. You can replace a headlight for $20. Compare that to the new Tacoma, where a single LED headlight unit costs $1,200 to replace. If you just need a truck to do truck things, haul mulch, move furniture, tow a small boat, the Ranger is the smartest financial decision you can make. You can buy a clean one for $5,000, drive it for 5 years, and sell it for $5,000. That is free driving. Now, let's talk about the controversial choice, the Honda Ridgeline. Truck guys love to hate this vehicle. They call it a minivan with the roof cut off, and honestly, they're right. It is a minivan underneath, and that's exactly why it is better than a Tacoma for 99% of people. The Tacoma drives like a 1940s farm implement. It bounces, it shakes, and the seating position is terrible. The Ridgeline rides on independent rear suspension. It floats down the highway. It uses the Honda J35 V6. This is Honda's masterpiece engine. It produces nearly 300 horsepower naturally. Yes, it has a timing belt you need to change every 100,000 miles. That is the one maintenance item you cannot skip. But once you do that, the engine is bulletproof. The bed has a composite lining that never rusts and a lockable trunk under the floor. For a daily driver that you actually have to live with, this is superior engineering, and you can pick up a clean first-generation model for $7,000. Before I reveal the V8 American Legends, I have to give you a serious financial warning. The used truck market is a minefield. While these trucks I'm listing are great, there are specific model years of the Ford F-150 and Chevy Silverado that have fatal transmission flaws and lister failures. For example, the 2018 to 2020 Ford F-150s have a transmission defect that costs $6,000 to fix. If you buy the wrong year, you lose your savings instantly. I compiled every single do not buy truck, engine, and transmission into a simple PDF checklist. It's called the 2025 Blacklist. Do not walk onto a used car lot without it. It lists the exact VIN ranges and model years that mechanics refuse to touch. You can download it right now at the link in the description. It costs less than a quart of oil, and it will save you thousands in repairs. Now let's get back to the good stuff. If you need a full-size truck and you want American muscle, you need the Cat Eye Chevy Silverado. This is the generation built from 1999 to 2006. Mechanics call this the GM 800 platform. This was the last time General Motors built a truck to last forever. The secret sauce is the engine, the 5.3-liter Vortec V8. This comes from the LS family of engines. It has an iron block and push rods. It does not have the active fuel administration cylinder deactivation system that destroys the lifters in the newer trucks. It is simple, stupid, and strong. I personally know of multiple Silverados from this era with over 500,000 miles on the original engine. The transmission, the 4L60E, is a bit weak, but it is so cheap to rebuild that it doesn't matter. If you find a rust-free Cat Eye Chevy in the South, buy it immediately. It is an appreciating asset. If you're a Ford guy, do not buy the new twin-turbo Tundra or the new F-150. Instead, look for the 2015 to 2017 Ford F-150. You want this specific generation for two massive reasons. Reason number one, this was the first year of the aluminum body. Unlike the Chevy and Ram, this truck literally cannot rust. If you live in the Rust Belt or near the ocean, this adds 10 years to the life of the truck. Reason number two, the transmission. These years use the 6R80 6-speed. This is a tank. The newer F-150s switched to the 10-speed, which is jerky, unreliable, and prone to the CDF drum failure. If you pair the aluminum body with the 6-speed transmission and the 5.0-liter Coyote V8, you have the most reliable modern truck Ford ever built. It has 385 horsepower, it sounds incredible, and it will run forever. You can find these for $18,000, which is $40,000 less than a new one. But what if you live in the city? The new Tacoma gets about 20 mpg if you drive it downhill with the wind. The Ford Maverick Hybrid gets 40 mpg in the city. This is the truck for people who understand math. It uses an eCVT. Now, usually I tell you to run away from CVTs, but this is different. It's a planetary gear set, just like a Toyota Prius. It has no belts to brake. It has no clutches to wear out. It is mechanically incredibly robust. You can buy a slightly used Maverick for $22,000. It does everything a homeowner needs, hauls plywood, tows a jet ski, and it costs half as much to fuel as a Tacoma. The only reason not to buy this is if your ego needs a giant truck to feel important. For everyone else, this is the smartest truck on the road. And finally, the truck that proves the new Tacoma is a total ripoff, the second-generation Toyota Tundra. Specifically, the 5.7-liter V8 models built from 2007 to 2021. This is the engine that towed the space shuttle. It is a masterpiece of over-engineering. The rear differential is the size of a pumpkin. The transmission cooler is massive. The starter motor is built to last 20 years. The new Tundra uses a twin-turbo V6 that is currently under a massive recall for main bearing failure. The engines are literally eating themselves. The old 5.7 V8 has one issue, the cam tower leak. It's a small oil leak on the side of the engine. It's expensive to fix, about $3,000, but once it's done, the engine is immortal. You can buy a decent Tundra for $12,000. Think about that. For $12,000, you get a V8, full-size capability, and a million-mile engineering. Or you can spend $55,000 for a 4-cylinder Tacoma that might blow up in 5 years. The choice is yours. Why is this happening? Why are new trucks worse? It comes down to two things: EPA regulations and cost cutting. Manufacturers are forced to hit impossible fuel economy targets. So they add auto start-stop, which wears out bearings. They use thinner 0W20 oil, which protects less at high heat. They use plastic oil pans that crack if you hit a rock. When you buy an older truck like the Frontier or the Tundra, you are opting out of this nonsense. You are buying metal, not compliance. Don't let the shiny dealership lights fool you. The new Tacoma is a downgrade. The Frontier, the Ridgeline, and the old Tundra are the real kings of the road. But you need to be careful. Even good brands make bad cars. There are 7 engines, even from Toyota and Ford, that will self-destruct after 100,000 miles. You need to know what they are before you buy. Watch this video next to see the list of engines you must avoid at all costs.